Welcome to the instructional video for Stung again. This is my take on the classic ABC Stung. My problem with that trick was always the same. Basically, it makes you a jerk. That's it. Kids think they know how it's done and you go, wrong! And then they figured that part out and you go, wrong! And I didn't want a trick where I just ended the whole thing going, you're wrong, dummies. So, I created Stung again. And we're going to go into it. Let me just quickly show you what you're going to get. First, you get this. This is what I call my on-the-back kit. Jim Kleefeld came up with an idea like this many, many years before me. I did not realize that when I claimed ownership of this. His setup was slightly different. Mine is very, very easy. It's just a safety pin with a metal washer. That's it. You're also going to get a cute plush bumblebee. And there is a giant, really strong neodymium magnet on the back that's going to attach to that metal washer. And then finally, you get your cards. Let me just show you. You're going to get your I card. You'll get a bumblebee card with the word Stung on the back. You will get the letter B. You will get the letter C. And I'm very impressed with this because I'm looking right at it and I can't see it. This is your A card. It's also your gimmick because this, it's like I can't even see it. And I'm like right here. That is a pocket. There's your pocket right there. And that's going to be enabling our trick to happen. So let me just show you the quick setup. Facing the audience, you will have I. Behind that, you'll have the B/Stung card. The B faces the audience. Then you have the B card, then the A, that's the card with the pocket, and then C goes on the back. So that's your setup. There is one thing you will need when you perform this, and that is a piece of cloth, some sort of foulard or scarf. The more opaque, the better. You probably already have one of those lying around. You don't even have to go to a magic shop. Just go to a little department store and get some sort of fancy square scarf that you can cover this up with. I'm not going to use the scarf in this explanation so that you can see all the handling underneath it. So that's your stack of cards. That's the order. Those go inside my table. I guess they could go face up or face down. I always keep them face down. So the I faces the table. Last bit of setup, I have my stunt jacket here. To prepare your on-the-back kit, you take your little needle and you're going to put it in the lining of your jacket in the middle of the back. So there's the back of my jacket, there's the lining, and I'm going to do it, generally I attach it about 3 to 4 inches below the collar. So we have about 3 to 4 inches. Then we have another 2 or 3 inches here. So we've got about 6 or 7 inches from the collar down to where that metal washer is going to hang. If you don't have lining, if you have a dress or a shirt or a vest or something without lining, you can literally poke it through the cloth. There will be a tiny, tiny sliver of metal from that pin going through your jacket, but nobody will ever see it. Even if they do, whatever could it be? This actually just lives inside of my jacket all the time because I do all sorts of tricks that use that on the back kit. So that's your jacket. That's currently set up in my jacket, and I think we're ready to begin. First, if you perform this near the beginning of your show, you don't even have to worry about attaching this during the routine. You can have it on your back to begin with. You do have to worry about your angles, but you have pretty decent mobility. You also have to watch for kids far on the side. So if you have a far spread out audience, you really have to be careful with that. We have a couple of ways you can get around that, which I'll talk about in a second. But when I'm doing a show, this is just usually in my case. The beauty of this magnet is that when I put it back there, you will have to play a little bit with the positioning and then getting used to where it is. But the magnet is so strong, I don't know if you can hear that, but I can literally hear it snapping against that. Not only that, I can feel it. All right? So I can feel it. Sometimes I can hear it. And then I know that that is in place. So that's it. Just... and there you go. It's in place. Now, One thing I forgot to mention, you want to play with where your washer is hanging in your jacket. I can reach up pretty far. Some people might not be able to, so you might want to position it down here. But then once you get it in place, just make sure you kind of practice getting the idea of where it generally is. You don't have to be perfect, because as long as you get it in that general area and move it the slightest bit, once it gets that washer, it's going to connect. So that's there. What I typically do, I'll just do this as I'm getting the cards right in front of the audience. I just reach in my table to grab the cards. This goes behind my back as I'm picking up the cards. Of course, the audience won't see that. So I'm picking up the cards and I'm done. It takes 2 seconds. If you work with a backdrop, it could be behind your backdrop. With the cards, you go put it on your back and come out with the cards. There's all sorts of options. But because of that magnet, it's super easy to connect. It only takes a second and nobody will pay any attention or notice it. So let's quickly go through the handling of the routine. It couldn't be easier. I show the front card and then I move them from the front, from the back to the front one at a time. So they say I, C, A, B. You see a B? I scream, I go nuts. Kids think that's hilarious. Then I say, here's how the test works. What I do is I take the top 2 cards. That's the B and the A. The A is your pocket. I'm going to put the A on the back. So there's the A. That's the pocket right there. So the A goes on the back, and then it looks like I'm putting the B behind it, but I'm actually putting the B inside that pocket. And you don't even have to fuss with it. Just get it in that pocket. And now when you square up the cards, it's in the pocket. So that is now an A card with the B card inside the pocket. And again, I just can't get over how deceptive that is. It's like I'm right here. I can't see it. So that's it. One more time. The B is on the front. I move the A to the back, then the B to the back. And in the process, I say, I'm going to mix up the cards. Then I say I'm going to turn them around and cover them up with a piece of cloth. So now I cover them with a cloth. So that's what they look like. Sometimes, if I have audience kind of far to the side and I don't want them to discover that B, I'll mix these up. I'll put them on the table. And as I grab the cloth, the piece of cloth, I'll stick that on my back. So I have a little less time with that sticking on my back. But now we have the cards turned around, and we're going to cover them with the cloth. By the way, when I turn them around, what that's going to do is put the Stung facing the audience. So there they are. So now I'm going to remove them one at a time and get rid of them. Facing me right now is the C. Now you could peek under the cloth to look and see what you're doing, but I know the C is facing me. I know right under that is the I. So I don't even have to look. I reach in, I take the second card closest to me, so not the card closest, that's the C. Right behind that is the I pull that out, I pull the next front card closest to me, that is the C. I pull the back card, that's actually a double because there is a B in that pocket, and I show that. And then I say, what do you think's left? A B. Oh wait, the letter B? Oh, good. I don't like B's because if there's a B, you might get, and at that point, I pull the cloth off and I show it Stung. Now, if the kids are old enough, we're talking like 5, 6, or 7, they'll probably start shouting out that you turned it around. If they're younger, I might have to kind of get them, or get there myself, like notice it on their faces. Oh, wait a minute. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I just turned it around. Either way, I'll often do some of those turn it around gags before I say, okay, the letter B, you caught me, good job. And the kids, instead of being wrong, just go berserk. They go absolutely berserk because it isn't what I thought. So they're trying to let me know. They're correcting me. So instead of them being wrong, I was wrong and they're correcting me. I finally discover it, blah, and then guess what? You're done because now there's a B on your back. As you put these away, turn it around, and boom, you got a B on your back. When you pull it off, throw it away. One other thing, if you are in, I have done this in libraries, and I'll tell you, actually, I'll tell you right now, there is a wonderful book. It's called CDB, just the letters, CDB. It's a children's book, and every single page has sentences, but the sentences are only written in letters. Like, I'm trying to think of one. HU. and it shows a picture of somebody sneezing. H-U! So it's all of the words, all of the sentences are created out of just letters. It's super cute. So for our library show, you can bring out that book, talk about how all the sentences are made out of letters, and you're going to play a game with the same idea. And then you bring out the cards, they say, I see a bee, and you have a wonderful trick that pairs with that book. So it's perfect for library shows. But for library shows, an easy thing you could do, you can maybe get these from behind your curtain if you want. You find the bee, run behind your curtain, throw those away. This only takes a second. You put that in place and, I do not like bees. Let's just move on to the next book. And then you can turn around and find it. So you can also, if you're worried about angles at specific venues, you can sneak it on behind your backdrop at the end of the routine. You can also do it at the end of the routine in front of the audience. This will be in your table. You reach down, the picture of the bee scared you, you put it away, and just sneak that on your back as you stand up. I am glad that I do not like bees, and then turn it around. So you can always insert that bee on your back at any point that you feel comfortable. Usually I'll do it at the beginning, but sometimes if I notice there are kids way on the sides, I might postpone it till later in the routine just to keep it hidden a little bit more. So that's it. That's Stung again. It is absolutely one of my all-time favorite routines. If you do preschool shows, it's a killer. And one thing about preschool shows, I find that not only are kids, they're learning their letters, so they're excited to share that knowledge, but I find that parents and teachers for that age group are excited to watch their kids share their knowledge. So even though this is not in any way an educational routine, it shows them demonstrating what they have learned. So in a sense, it feels like an educational routine. So it's great for preschools. So try this out. Perfect for library shows, perfect for preschools. It works great as an eye test at the beginning of your show for like the 4 to 7-year-old range. So try it out. It is, I think, a very deceptive trick, but it's all sorts of laughs and craziness. So that's Stung again. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have fun with it.